Hi, and thank you for joining me today. I wanted to come on and introduce myself and give you a background of my educational and work experience. My name is Deshita Morris. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I've been licensed since 2012. I have a master's in counseling psychology, a bachelor's in psychology, and an associate's in general studies with a focus in psychology. I feel the need to mention my associates because it was a turning point for me. I knew once I obtained that one, I was going to keep going. So I wanted to mention that. I also have a law degree. I do not practice, but I do have the degree. In the past, I have worked with children, families, couples, in different capacities with DCF. I enjoyed working with children and families so much. But now the focus of my counseling has changed because my husband and I were part of a very small group of people, and that group of people being intended parents, surrogates, or gestational carrier. We are proud parents to a beautiful, amazing little girl who was born via a gestational carrier. I will say real quick, I'll give a kind of a difference between a surrogate and a gestational carrier. Although if you're here, you probably know the difference. A gestational carrier has no relationship to the child. They're just carrying the embryo from the intended parents. A surrogate will actually use her egg in the process to create the embryo. My husband and I used the gestational carrier, which means our gestational carrier had no relationship to our child. I will say sometimes I will use surrogacy and gestational carrier kind of, I may say one, but I mean the other. I'll try to be specific, but sometimes I tend to, because I think most people know what a surrogate is versus a gestational carrier. Anyway, I decided to work with this population because the journey of having our daughter had very highs and very lows. And I had and have an amazing support system, but for the lows, it was quite difficult to get help because you kind of want to work or talk to someone who's experienced it. So that made it difficult. Throughout the process, it was cut and dry that this is the legal piece, the medical piece. But when it came to the mental health piece, I personally felt that it was lacking. And it was lacking in the sense of someone who's been there, who's lived it, versus a therapist who did not. So with that said is how I came to start Intended Hearts, to work specifically with intended parents, surrogates, and gestational carriers. I hope this little tidbit was informational and helpful. I hope that you'll join me in the future and you can learn tips or hear stories or maybe hear something about my journey that'll help you in your future on your journey to being a parent. I will say this, I probably am not that person who posts regularly, so my apologies in advance. Once again, thank you so much for being here and I appreciate you.